Good morning. Let's make sure we're all good. I'm gonna get us together here. Y'all, if you're on Instagram, we're gonna pause for a second because I already know how this internet be acting up. So we're not gonna play that today. Good morning. Good morning. It's a blessing to see you. If you are on Instagram, hello, Facebook, uh, um, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. Good day. Good day, shall I say? Oh, let me get this out of the way. We're figuring this all out. It is Thursday, May 25th. That is the day, Thursday, May 25th. Grateful to have you guys here in the morning. Let's just get through the regular stuff so we can get to the other stuff. So if you guys want to stay updated on the things that we have going, do not forget to subscribe to our newsletter, and just for overall updates. So you can do that. If you're on Instagram, you go to link in the bio, go to subscribe for updates there. If you're on Facebook, the link is scrolling at the bottom of the page. You can go to delegatejackieglass.com. You'll be able to get all those updates. Number one. Number two, if you are interested, we say no money, no mission. If you're interested in contributing to the mission that we have out front, we love it. we love that too. You can go to the link in the bio as well, and if you're on Instagram, or go to delegatejackieglass.com and subscribe or not subscribe and contribute. Again, no money, no mission. That's my friend Kizzy in my head. We got some good stuff coming. If you have constituent concerns, I know that some of you all, I think it's really important to make sure we take time to recognize, to remind folks what we are here to do. As your state legislator, I can liaison with the utility company. I can reach out to state agencies. A lot of times we are connecting with the Employment Commission. We're connecting with the Department of Corrections because there are folks that want to do a health and welfare check on their loved one that is incarcerated. We are liaisoning with the Department of Elections, asking questions. We're like anything that is a state department and you got an issue and you need some help, holla at your girl. Okay, like that's what we're here for. If you are an educator and next year you are like, I would like to take my kids to the Capitol, or I would like a legislator to come show up to, that's what we're here for. Flags, if you've had someone in your family that has passed and you want to memorialize them with a state resolution, I can do that. If you think there's somebody doing some bomb stuff that's amazing in the neighborhood that deserves to be commended, we can also do those things. So you can just reach out to us, Delegate. It's deljglass@house.virginia.gov. If you're on the other socials other than Instagram, that is scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. Email or call 757-472-1293. Okay, that and so much more. If you just don't know what to point to, we'll get you pointed in the right directions. We are here to be of service. Thirdly, we will start legislation in June. June is just almost a week away, a week and some change away. Not even that. Nope, 5, 6. Yeah, they're about 6. Not even a week away. Less than a week away is June. We're going to start working on legislation. That is because, one, we'll be rolling ourselves closer to starting to have to campaign for November, but the summer is when we do the most of our work. So if you are interested and you got some, this, I would love to see about this being a law, connect with us. We are always going to invite you to summer school, because summer school, we haven't picked a date yet for summer school, but summer school for certified doers, you need to be there. We will break down all of the things. We'll break down, let me see what's happening here. I think my connection might not be great. Give me 1 second, y'all. Catch up and get us on the right. Hopefully you guys on the other socials are better connected to us now. But summer school for certified doers, if you have been to summer school for certified doers and you're like, I went through summer school, that is baseline. I need something a little bit more advanced. We are considering doing an advanced version of summer school for certified doers. So people that have already lobbied for a bill, that understand the process, but want to take their knowledge level a step above. This is your opportunity. Why your engagement is so important before we get to the nitty gritty. Because the first year I was in the General Assembly, a bill came from a dude who was drunk across the street from Booker T High School that talked to our legislative director and was like, why we can't give some of that? Why can't we give some of that drug money to do good stuff in the neighborhood? This came from a dude off on Park Avenue. If you in Norfolk, you know where that is, right? We put that bill in and got it passed. That now when they get, they're called forfeited assets, not just drug money. So when those things happen, that we are able to, the police departments and the Department of Criminal Justice or police departments are able to now take some of that money and put it back into doing community work. It takes people like you to really do this, okay? So there is that. And don't forget at 6:55, if you have a community event that you want me to shout out or something or whatever, a person, a birthday or whatever, drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments at 6:55. I'll scroll through those events so you have that opportunity to do that, okay? All right, let's get to it. Lost myself for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. Comments. All right. So this week, I'm not. Let me see. I'm not gonna. What do you call it? Belabor what we got going on here in Norfolk. So, last week, the Norfolk Public School Boards approved a new sex education curriculum. Did anybody hear about that? Did anybody get up to date on that? Like, heard anything about that? Because if you did, drop it in the comments. So they approved a new sex education curriculum called Get Real, and Get Real is this comprehensive, holistic approach to sex ed for 6th through 10th grade. Okay, for 6th through 10th grade for kids in public school. This is something that's already been approved by the CDC. It was brought forth by Massachusetts Planned Parenthood because they felt like, hey, if we're going to do this, if this is going to be a part of what we do in education, then we might want to revamp it to today's age. The curriculum includes topics like homosexuality, lesbian, abortion, condom use. The chief academic officer, and I want to actually walk through this. The chief academic officer, if you don't know who he is for Norfolk Public Schools, it's James Pohl, and he let everybody know that parents have the right to opt their children out of any and all of the lessons. Any and all. Some of the school board members, like praise, this is a school board thing, right? And I'm going to get to why this is connected to the state level and why we all kind of have to be cognizant of this and what's happening, whether you have children in Norfolk Public Schools or not. They praise it, right, because it's inclusive and parents have the ability to make a choice. There was a survey conducted, and if you're a parent in Norfolk Public Schools, then let me tell you something. When they've got a survey going on, that survey, you don't get about 50 emails, 50 phone calls on your phone telling you that they have a survey going on, and about 45 messages saying that followed up. It's all going to get followed up. Conducted that out of 100, that 100 out of half, right? Let's say about half of the people, 100 out of the 200 people responded and supported the additional topics to the curriculum. However, there are some parents expressed concerns about age appropriateness of the cost of the program. The curriculum was implemented through a grant with EVMS, the Eastern Virginia Medical School. I would love to hear your thoughts. Here is my take. Now, immediately the day after, our governor came out and said, this is just a Planned Parenthood trying to do X, Y, and Z. And I heard about the parents that were there that were just like, this is terrible. We are talking about what happens when we see things like this come forth in our community? And I just want to encourage doers, because we are doers, right? And when you're a doer, one thing that you should always do is, before we talk about a topic, get a great understanding of it. So the first thing that I did was went to the Get Real website, right? And took a look at this curriculum, right? Take a look at it. That's something that I think many folks that are talking about this that said, well, I don't know if it's age appropriate. And the unfortunate part is that kids have sex. Hello. Like, this is there's no other way to put this, is that at some point, possibly, maybe, and that you may be in a situation where your child, your niece, your nephew, your baby cousin, whomever has made that choice, with educated or not, that's a choice to be made. Sex is a natural, normal thing. But we all know that, like, there is an educational piece when young adults start that process. The way our school curriculum is set up is that in middle school, and this is education for you all as we talk about, we start hearing this, because I know once election season pumps up, people are going to start really having conversations about this. In middle school, the topics that are addressed in middle school are communication and refusal skills. Right? How do I communicate? How do I refuse? So we don't talk about it unless we don't read about it. In middle school, we're talking about relationships and boundaries. We're talking about anatomy and reproduction, how your body works, puberty, the fact that your body is going through changes, abstinence, that you got that very much so the right to say, I might want to wait. There's topics on decision making and values, understanding the terminology of homosexuality, lesbian, and masturbation. These are things that are prevalent and that are in our society. Media literacy and sexuality, right? Because they are taking in media in a very different way than we are, and have access to things that we never really did. They're talking about gender identity and deciding about sexual behavior, defining and maintaining abstinence, addressing obstacles to abstinence, STDs, comprehensive protection methods, right? They have a condom demonstration on that. Healthy and unhealthy relationships, and living with HIV. So that's middle school. One of the important thing I want you guys to hold on to here is that parents have the ability to opt out. That's the curriculum for 6th through 8th grade. Parents have the ability to opt out. They made very specific on our school, with the school system, that when they're learning these topics, these family life topics, a letter will be sent home every single day, giving the parent the opportunity to opt out, saying, hey, your child is going through this. This is the topic that we'll be talking about the next day. You have the ability to opt them out of this. So no child is being forced to learn about any aspect of this. If it's against your values or your faith, there's not a child. Let me get this right, because I feel like we're doing something weird here. There's not a child that is being forced to sit through or to be a part of the curriculum. So first and foremost, if you heard one of those topics and you didn't like it, that's fine. And you have a middle schooler, you'll have the opportunity to opt out. And again, if we know anything, if you have, like me, have children in Norfolk Public Schools, the notification method is off the chain. Okay, they are really great at making sure that we have a clear understanding of what's going on when there's a survey and how things are going. If your child is in high school, they are talking about the introduction to sexuality. And these are bolded because these are some of them are controversial depending on how you view sex as a natural or a controversial thing. They're talking about sexual reproductive anatomy, gender, sex, and shared responsibility. They're talking about comprehensive methods for protection. Again, a condom demonstration and more. Preventing STIs, sexual risk and low intimacy, negotiating and negotiating postponement, i.e. saying, whether or not you want to wait, and protection, social media literacy and sexuality, healthy and unhealthy relationships, assessing and accessing sexual health care, and then understanding the terminology, homosexuality, lesbianism, and masturbation. I'll say this again. any parent has the means to opt out at any time. You can opt out. So I would love to know your thoughts, right? I heard some of the comments that were said at the school board. I recognize that, that there is anger, there is frustration, there is fear of things. There are a faction of people that have a fear that we're going to put things in their child's head and their child will be a certain way. That's why you have the ability to opt out, right? I believe that there are a brand of people that think that homosexuality, lesbianism don't exist and want to ensure that their children believe that it don't exist. That's not my business, but I'm going to ensure that my children, right, whether it's within the school system or not, have that understanding. I want to do that. So I would opt in. I would encourage you to opt out. Now, here's what I do know is that there are people who don't have children in the school system that showed up and said all the things. I think it's great that you care about children because our educational system is the root to making our schools, our neighborhoods great. It is. However, parents have the ability to opt out. And that really sort of ends the conversation for me, is that if we're going to argue about the cost, right, where we shouldn't pay for this, we pay for curriculum. That's how this works. This is a part of our health, that we have a school board. And this is why I need you all to understand that this is why we have school boards, right? This is why it matters who sits on your school boards, because when we had these, they're not ridiculous. When we had these substandard conversations at the state level where we had both our governor and the Republicans stoking fear about what is and is not happening in schools. There are some schools that are having some challenges, right, in places about reporting and things like that. But there was this ideology that across the Commonwealth, that we were creating environments for children that were inappropriate, that essentially, that in these more urban areas, that these school systems we're just failing our children completely, and we're exposing them to all kinds of sexual content, and like there was this thing, right, with the book banning and all these different, all of this. I will say this again. This is why your school board matters, because your school board say what they want. The politicians, present company included, the governor, they can say what they want, but when it all boils down to it, it comes down to who is on your school board. We have the ability at the state level to have a loud voice in these conversations. Good morning, Mr. Elliott. Good morning. We have a loud voice in these conversations, but when it comes down to it, your school board gets to have the final say. Our school board said, we do want this in our curriculum. We do want this and we want to give you an option. This is, and the outrage, and because the governor, I'm saying this because our governor came out and said, this is just some indoctrination. I'm not going to pretend like sex is not a real thing. And I don't think anybody in society that is breathing should, because somebody, for the most part, we do have other ways, we do have other ways, but somebody did something, whether it was masturbation or sex, to get you here. And that's in the curriculum. That's in the curriculum. And if we believe in choice, because there's a lot of conversation about school choices and things like that, and I so understand that we have to, as society-wise, that we do diverge on, and some people want to be the ones to teach their children these things. That is okay too. Opt out. David James Glass, hello, fellow Glasser, says on Instagram, it seems like most folks upset about things are the most absent from their kids' education process. I don't even know the names of their kids' teachers. I get, what I'll say is, all kinds of people walk to these conversations, grateful to have a robust conversation. Whether you are a parent who are very active and have the privilege to be very active on your child's education, or do not, you still got a choice. Right? Like when it all boils down to it, you still have that choice. And so this is why I'm urging you all to when we see these stories come out and you see, like I said, the governor trickling down and thumbing his nose and these sorts of things, recognize that the power rests in you deciding who your school board is. That's where the power is. It's not in somebody at the executive branch saying this is how your school is going to do it. It is, there are standards set forth by the Department of Education, which is why we pay close attention to what happens at the Department of Education level. But what it boils down to, what it really boils down to is who you have sitting on that board, which is why school boards right now and for the past couple of years have been the toughest elected official job in the country, because we have heavily politicized our schools, while also saying that they're accountable for all the things with our children. We want to down our educators and say, yo, you're supposed to make sure they do this, aside from their educational, and be aware of this, be aware of their social emotional selves, be aware if they are, if there's abuse going on, be aware if they, like, be the psychiatrist, be the information and resource person, be the educator, be the mediator, be all these things, right? We've asked them, while saying, if you do something inappropriate, we here had a tip line to tell on teachers in Virginia. That's us. We led that. Excuse me, let me take myself out of that. That pronoun did not match. Our governor and Republican Party led that. And say what you want, that was a real thing. That was a real thing. And so what we have not, and what I will not allow anyone in this Commonwealth, anyone in this nation to say about what's happening here in Norfolk, is that we are not giving parents the opportunity to be a part of their educational process. Yet, let me say this. I've had my challenges, but when it comes to this particular issue, this is what I'm talking about, because I've had my challenges of getting involved in my kids' educational process for whatever it's worth. But when it comes to this particular issue, which is heavily politicized, right? This is a heavily politicized issue. Parents have the options. And as doers, I want you to go ahead. And if you got an issue, and if you're looking at how this is going down, go ahead and go to getrealeducation.org. Getrealeducation.org. I'll say that again, getrealeducation.org. And you can learn more about the curriculum. Make sure that if you have a 6th grader through 10th grader, because that's when this curriculum is happening, that you too are able to engage in the conversation, right? I think if when we know a thing, as my folks say, when you know a thing, you plan for a thing. As hard as it is, as difficult it is to have these sorts of conversation, we have to have them. The other day, I have 2 little citizens. The other day, I said to my son has had condoms for years. Okay, he's a 16-year-old. He has had them. And we've talked about whether he's going to abstain or not. I've made sure that I said to him, because I'm a parent who wants my son to live his best and most full life. And I'll say, I never said whether he had a girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm saying, are you dating? Because, there's an appropriate time for that, because our household, you get to have rules, your house, your rules, which is why you get to choose whether or not they do this curriculum. And I was careful not to say girlfriends or boyfriends until the time came when he said, this is what I want. That was my choice, because I would be okay if one of my children decided that they were attracted to the same sex. I would be okay with that. If you're a parent that would not be okay with that, that's your business. And they do not have to be a part of the curriculum when that piece comes. If you don't want them to know about lesbianism, homosexuality, or masturbation, but you do want them to know about healthy relationships, you can opt them into that course. That's your choice. That is the narrative here. Nothing more, nothing less. This is not Planned Parenthood coming into our communities saying, y'all gonna teach y'all kids this and they gonna learn about this. And that's not what's happening. It's not what's happening. So calm the noise, doers know. And that's it. That's what's happening in our backyard. So I'm going to go ahead again, say that resource again. It's called Get Real getrealeducation.org. Again, that's getrealeducation.org. You can always check out the school board meetings just to sort of see if you're looking for what's going to be addressed in what portion. And I encourage everyone, I'm going to encourage you that if this makes you uncomfortable, I so get it. We all grew up with uh, walking into adulthood and sexuality and things in different ways. It just was not that long when I was in high school. We had people that we knew were different, and this is, and let me after that we knew had a different preference and could not, but recognize healthy, comprehensive sexual education is not just about who you choose to love. And that's what I need you to know. It's about how you choose to love, how how you choose to get in relationships, how you choose to pursue a relationship with sex, and so much more. Right? It's not just about sexuality. So we're gonna walk them foes back for that. We ain't gonna let nobody be talking script about Norfolk. I don't care if it's we ain't letting the governor talk script about Norfolk, and not gonna feel this rhetoric that we are just being led by Planned Parenthood and we're all out here, right? Because that's not the case. Welcome to Norfolk, where we are proudly diverse. And we recognize the diversity of our people, and we recognize that we each are living our lives very differently, and we provide people with options to do so. That's it. That's the story. So let me check to see if there are anything in the comments, anybody have. And David, thank you for joining us on Instagram today. We appreciate you, David. I hope that you are well. Amir was here at one point. I give a little wave to you all. We appreciate you. Mr. Cornell, Mr. Elliott on Facebook. I don't see any. Memorial Day is coming up. So just to let you know, Memorial Day is for those who have since passed. So we are honoring the veterans that have passed. Veterans Day are for those who have previously served. And Armed Forces Day is for those who are serving. So this weekend is about those who have passed. Right? Let's just make that clear, because I know everybody's like, happy Memorial Day. No, it's not happy. Memorial Day is definitely can be a tough day. I'll tell you, for me, it is very hard. Being a veteran who I was a military escort and escorted a sailor back to their final resting place. I think it sort of makes Memorial Day hit a little different when you've had folks in service that have since passed on, that never will ever get out of the uniform. So it is a solemn day for some people. So I just wanted you all to be cognizant of that as you talk to veterans or active duty folks. Memorial Day is not a yay Memorial Day. It is an random, if I can say it right. Okay, this is about those who have fallen, those who have passed on, whether it was by gun or by suicide or by the hands of another. Like it is a day to or on the battlefield. 9/11, I'll just say this as a post 9/11 veteran, we have different kinds of tragedy, right? Not all of it is on the battlefield. We have to deal with, losing folks for a myriad of reasons. Same for Gulf War, Vietnam, all those folks. There's so many different reasons why we're memorializing our fellow service members. Okay. As always, I appreciate you all's time on this Thursday morning. I will see you next Thursday. Same time, same place. Bring a friend. If you want to connect in between them, please make sure you go ahead and like our socials, like at Jackie for Norfolk on all the places. And if you just want to, because some of you guys are just in on the fashion piece, I get it. You can follow me at Laced Up Legislator on Instagram. Be well, I hope you all are able to make it a great day, and we still here. So if you need anything, again, our email is DEL for delegate, J as in Jackie, glass like a glass of water, at Virginia House, at house.virginia.gov. This is mostly for your Instagrammers. And then you can reach out to our office at 757-472-1293. All right. We are here. Happy to serve. Catch you guys next Thursday. Be well. Bye.